Hey guys, so I did a couple of reaction videos to Red vs. Blue, as some of you guys might know. Most of you guys, I'm imagining. I did all of season 13, and I really had a lot of fun, and I've been looking for new stuff to do reaction videos to. I did some Steven Universe, which I lost the files for, and I'm really upset about. And I tried X-Ray and Vav, but the problem with X-Ray and Vav was it wasn't very plotsy. It was very simple and short, and it just didn't work well. I wasn't reacting that much, but I watched the last episode of Hunt the Truth before this one, season 2, episode 1, and I literally shrieked. So I'm like, yeah, that at this point, I would say that Hunt the Truth is something I should be doing reaction videos for, because you guys like to see me shriek at the top of my lungs several times. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing that. For those who might be in the Halo community but don't know me from the Red vs. Blue community, hello, I'm Muriel. I do reaction videos. That's what I do. Or at least that's what I do on YouTube. Don't ask about Tumblr. Nobody wants to know. So yeah, I'm a little bit sick. I'm getting over a bit of a cold. So excuse the hair. It's all curly and stuff. So here we go. This is season 2, episode 2. Or maybe I should talk more about the previous episode because holy shit. Okay, so I've been a Halo fan for a couple of years now. I help run a podcast called The Shizno, so I help do theories about Red vs. Blue, and the reason I got into Halo was mostly because of that, because I was like, oh, well, I need to know more. It was during season 9 and 10, and the sarcophagus mission came up, and we needed to know about the engineers from like Halo ODST, or we needed to know about, you know, these things that most RVB fans wouldn't know if they didn't get into Halo. And Red vs. Blue is like its own universe, but at the same time it was very, very helpful to learn things, especially because I love AI. That's one of my favorite concepts. As a kid, I used to read Isaac Asimov in like 2nd grade. Yeah, I did that. So I really love AI. In the last episode, BB showed up, Black Box, who is one of my favorite Halo AI. And as the Red vs. Blue fans know, I love smug asshole characters. Like, it's my favorite. So BB showing up was just the best. I'm so happy about that. And then there was also, goodness, just Ben's whole breakdown in that episode. I almost cried. So I am super excited to see what awaits Maya and BB in the next episode and their adventures together, which is gonna be ridiculously fun. I'm so excited. So we're gonna watch. We're already 3 minutes in and we've already been on a rant.
As we made our way towards Conrad's Point, my head was still spinning. The raid at the camp, seeing Ben, the intel about these events, it was almost too much to handle. But something about it felt familiar, too. I thought back to when I was monitoring Mashak Maradi. Right before he was going to expose me to Ben, he had been on to something. The chatter about the anomalies in deep space, and then just a few weeks later, all the place's own warnings to Oni HQ? Could they be
she
connected?
killed Mashak.
With so many skeletons in Oni's closet, it was just a matter of time before some of them found their way out.
Maya, you need to focus.
I was so lost in thought that I didn't realize we were coming up on Conrad's Point.
A world gone dark is a scary question hanging in space. You need to be present and ready. There could be anything beneath those clouds,
Hey,
and I prefer not to die today.
This operation was rife with uncertainty. We were approaching Conrad's Point, a world in chaos controlled by militant NCA rebels. My only link to them was a fellow agent, Ari Resnick. But he'd gone dark weeks ago, and now this whole planet was dark because of a catastrophic seismic event. All that uncertainty should have been terrifying. It should have felt immediate and sharp, but somehow it didn't. It seemed far away, surreal. I needed to pull it together.
Someone down there is using an analog transponder.
What?
Look, extreme caution. Ping on final approach. Friendly pings get new coordinates.
Ari.
Looks like Captain Resnick may be alive after all.
It had to be him. Ari Resnick was one of the most resourceful people I'd ever known. A gifted mediator, an eccentric tinkerer, and a good friend. As an agent, he orchestrated complex social ecosystems with impeccable technical precision. But ironically, when it came to actual tech, he was more of an artist. Finding a way to send a signal from a dead world? Risking his neck to warn others? That was Ari. I'm shutting down for dead dive.
The question is, are these cautionary measures in response to human or non-human threats?
Well, we'll know soon enough.
It's an analog.
Freefall was rough, to say the least. But I held down my lunch,
Oh, that
opened the
photo.
drag as late as possible, and then quietly brought the transporter down in a well-hidden, jagged ravine. I may
love
have had
the
no
foliage.
idea what we were walking into, but I was making damn sure we had a way to get back out.
What a heinous, depressing rock. It's really no wonder these people are so angry. They make camp on waste worlds. I mean, I'd be quite angry myself.
Yeah, well, I don't think they're here for leisure. On the remote fringes, a planet like Conrad is the perfect hideout for the NCA. They take over abandoned mining facilities and establish military training grounds. Life out here, it isn't for the faint of heart.
This region is lovely. Just lovely. All the rocks.
This is it. Nobody's here.
Why don't you try the vantage point up there? On that rock.
I came up the ridge and the sun suddenly crested into view. I shielded my eyes and finally saw the wider landscape. Behind us and to the sides it was all jutting rocks, but then the ridge dropped off, sloping gradually into a much smoother section. I squinted into the light, barely making out the silhouettes of massive industrial structures in the distance. I don't like this. We're exposed up here. I looked out again and realized what was off about the area beyond the ridge. Oh my god. It was a crater. A vast hole. Like
What?
someone had just
Oh, that must be
torn out
the
a
image for
massive
the week.
section of the planet's surface. I hadn't seen it
Oh,
because
shit.
the size of it was impossible. I was so in awe, I didn't even hear him sneak up on me.
Listen carefully and do exactly what I say.
Oh.
I turned around and saw Ari, pointing a gun at me. Ari, what are you...
Stop talking. Put your hands up. Don't move. Don't talk. They may be watching. You just showed up here and I don't know you. I'm pointing my gun and that scares you. Now give me the bag.
Ari yanked the bag from me and rifled through it with one hand. I played along. I assure you, there's nothing threatening in there.
I see that, so I'm becoming less aggressive. Assuming you're here
Odie.
because of the event.
Yes.
I'm giving you back your bag. We're getting over our misunderstanding. I'm asking who you are.
I'm the rebel leader, Pharaoh.
I've heard of you. The situation is starting to relax.
Were you here when it happened?
No, we came right after. I'm lowering the gun because I realize we're on the same side.
Well, now that all of that ceremonious posturing is out of the way, can we get on with the mission at hand?
Smarty eye.
Your name is Black Box. A reputation precedes you, Captain.
It's good to see you, Ari. They were afraid you were dead.
Yeah? And what do you think?
My faith never wavered.
So are you the entire brigade?
Just me and Black Box, here to find out what the NCA knows, or has, and report back to HQ.
Well, I don't have a lot. We were close by when the colony was hit, but by the time we got here, it was all over. All I know is it caused major seismic damage, fried every piece of tech on the planet, and left behind that hole, half-mile wide. Lancier's got the site blocked off now. Only a select few have been allowed in. Ilsa's planning her next move.
Ilsa? Ilsa Zane is here? I thought she was
You
dead.
didn't know? Well, it was in my last message before I went dark.
No,
Damn. They really sent you in here blind. Or they don't know. After she attacked the Infinity, Ilsa was picked up by some NCA loyalists. She's been running roughshod over this faction ever since, executing anyone she sees as a problem.
Ilsa
Damn.
Zane was a walking science experiment gone wrong. At one point, she'd been slated for the Spartan program, an
Oh.
attempt at building the ultimate
Oh, it's a
unarmored
failed
killing
Spartan.
machine.
Oh,
But she
fuck.
snapped. After defecting to the NCA, she was quickly indoctrinated and promoted to Admiral Drake's attack dog.
Then, when the colony was hit by the event, she brought us all here. The bloodletting seems to be over now, but everyone's still on edge, unable to use comms, unable to leave.
But Why haven't you escaped?
Well, I've certainly thought about it, but I can't. I'm trying to keep a lid on things here. They've got enough thermonukes in the armory to flatten the whole system, and Ilsa's been setting the table for total war against the UNSC. I'm hopeful I can steer things back from the edge, get her finger off the nukes until Oni can take her out.
I should send a sit rep to Noah before we go in.
Hold that thought, Maya. We've got movement on the perimeter, several guards heading this way.
Quickly, brief me. You were abducted by Oni. What happened?
I escaped custody and hijacked a prisoner transport. They were questioning me about the colony attacks. I was worried, so after I broke out, I came here.
That's the best they could do? Lucky prison break? Alright, we'll have to make it work. Ilsa's been pulling rebels in from all over, so we say you're just another fighter joining the party. Now lay low in there. It won't take a blown cover to set Ilsa off. She'll kill you if she thinks you're dead weight. And keep the AI quiet unless you want to lose him.
I am but a lapel pin.
Found another one, boys.
Going
outside the perimeter, Ari.
It's called a perimeter check, Raj. And it worked.
The crew was heavily armed and looked severely sleep-deprived. Ilsa seemed to have them on a hair trigger. It was tense, but Ari worked his magic, cracked a few smiles, and I was suddenly being escorted into the encampment as a guest of the NCA. There were hundreds of rebels with dozens of affiliations packed inside the dilapidated refinery, drinking and shouting, almost maniacally festive. It was a party, but it all felt slightly unhinged. What's the occasion?
That's a good question. It's been silent as the grave in
I
here
always
until
love the
late
sound
last
editing
night.
they do. It's
The
always
guys broke
very
out the colonel's
immersive.
old cases of whiskey and told everyone it was a celebration. Everyone's been wound pretty tight.
I can see that.
All right, why don't you go grab a drink? I'm gonna make the rounds, see what I
I'd
can
love
find
to know
out.
who does the Foley on this.
As I laid low, I looked around hoping to spot any familiar faces. But I didn't see a sympathetic resistance. These weren't my people. I saw bloodlust. Groups responsible for attacks on civilians. Half the people here were mercenaries. No one seemed to stand for anything except vengeance. From fire to blood. Any banner you want to fly to justify crushing skulls. This was the opposite of everything I had fought for as Pharaoh. I was hoping Ari would hurry up when I heard a familiar voice.
Pharaoh!
Bostwick? Oh my God!
You're alive! Yeah, I knew it. I knew they wouldn't get you. When you got taken, everyone scattered. Everyone thought you were dead, but not me. I knew you wouldn't let Arnie take you.
Bostwick had been drinking. A lot. A 5'0" rebel girl who probably weighed 100 pounds wet stood out in a group like this as is. But a drunk one was bound to attract unwanted attention. Bostwick, what are you doing here?
I joined after the scatter. Half of our group was killed. Rumors were spreading like wildfire.
And what? The NCA offered you protection?
I don't know if I'd put it that way. I'd say they needed protection from me.
Oh, honey.
My bad, I'm just playing.
When I first found her, she was an angry 17-year-old. Just lost her parents in a UNSC incident on Deacom. They operated a little convenience stand on the outskirts of a military base.
Oh, honey.
Some troopers were drunk, tossing around plasma grenades they seized from a Covenant supply ship. One went awry. The troopers just got a slap on the wrist. Bostwick got a form letter apology. She coped by getting aggressive, assembling a small group of fellow Outer Colony kids orphaned by the UNSC. They mostly just engaged in petty theft, but by the time Bostwick and I crossed paths, she was turning her sights to a more violent course. So I took her under my wing. She was dedicated, a fast learner. I'd gotten her to start directing her anger towards positive change, but she still had a lot of growing up to do. What do they have you doing?
And perimeter checks mostly, around the north end. They got me protecting some operation on the whole. Bunch of scientists going in and out, taking readings.
Readings? Okay, what can you tell me about BB? I told you to.
Huh?
I was about to say, don't speak.
Who are you talking to?
Broadcasting directly into your ear canal.
Sorry, I thought I saw. Who's that?
Transmitted a detailed report back to headquarters. Apparently, Command is authorizing a strike using our current position as coordinates. Opportunity to kill Ilsa Zane is
Oh my God, he's only speaking on the left side.
We must go.
Oh my God, that's so smart. I need to pause this to geek out.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh my God, yeah, he's only talking on the left side. I wish I had my headphones and a way to edit this video to overlay the audio, because BB is only talking to us, or to Maya, on the left side, and you can hear it in the audio. Oh, I always geek out over like all these audio tricks. Man, if I ever manage to figure out how I'm gonna do a podcast, I want to do one with half as good Foley as this, because holy shit. Okay, we're gonna continue.
Come on, we gotta get you out of here.
Let's do it. Wait, where are we going?
They weren't giving me much time to get out before the bombs started dropping. I had to find an exit. That's when Ari reappeared from the crowd.
Here, take this.
Ari handed me a data chip. He looked unnerved. I didn't have time to ask questions, though. We need to leave now. Ari could see the fire in my eyes. He knew it was serious.
Stick close and walk small.
We made it about halfway to the entrance when the door came rolling down.
We're sealing it up. Stop.
They were closing all the doors. We were trapped. Ari was working out another escape plan when Ilsa Zane stepped into the room, seemingly sucking all the air out of it.
Uh-oh.
The entire facility, packed with rebels, had become suddenly unnervingly quiet. The crowd parted as she crossed the floor. Everyone turned to face her, eyes mostly averted. And then she stopped, 15 feet from where we were standing. Ari carefully slid himself in front of me.
Stay down.
I could just see over Ari's shoulder. Ilsa was big. Scary big. I didn't
She's
know
an
what the techs had done to her in the Spartan program. It made her stronger for sure, but they'd broken something too. There was a glint in her eye. Something unhinged, something inhuman.
That's
This
not good.
is a celebration. And it should be. We've made a lot of changes in a very short amount of time. When I
Who's the
found you,
voice actress?
there was no discipline, no
I know that
uniformity.
voice.
Just a bunch of misfits with different allegiances and philosophies.
Oh, she's
That
scary.
was a problem of leadership. The Colonel had allowed this legendary faction of the NCA to devolve into a forum for individual interests. You were scattered and slow, and that's a death sentence. I relieved him of his command because bands of misfits don't win wars. Big machines do. Big machines made of lots of little pieces moving with the same purpose. That's what we needed to build here. And it's not easy. Every piece has to have a place, and when a piece doesn't fit, you have to get creative. You cut part of it off, smash it into place so it never pops out
Oh, she
again.
knows Pharaoh
You
is
do what
here.
you have to, and you trim the fat.
Uh-oh.
I'm pleased to say that each and every one of you still with us has found your place. And we have built one hell of a machine. And it's
Uh-oh.
almost time to turn it on. That hole outside represents our entry point into this war. That's why I brought you here to Conrad's Point. The landscape is changing. The UNSC is on their heels because of that hole. And we are going to capitalize on that weakness.
What does
Just
she
needed the right
know?
moment. Which brings me to my announcement.
She walked around with incredible control of the room. You felt like she could suck the life out of anyone at any time.
How many of you have lost friends, loved ones at the hands of Spartans? Well, today, we get to put a very big one in the other column.
Baby, what is she talking
I'm
about?
checking the feeds. Hold on. Oh my.
What?
This can't be.
In the wake of the seismic events that struck here and 4
Oh,
other
no.
colonies,
No.
I have verified with numerous sources that our moment has arrived.
Master Chief
The Master Chief
is dead.
is dead.
No, 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 no,
The
no.
mood
See,
shifted.
no.
There was some scattered cheering, but
No.
true. I don't
No,
think anyone knew what to
343,
do.
I do not believe you. I don't care how much you want to push this down our
The
throats.
Master Chief was
Nuh-uh.
the greatest
Nuh-uh.
hero we ever
Everyone
known.
can die
He had
except
saved
for Chief.
humanity from the brink of extinction.
No, I'm pausing this. No. 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 Cortana can die. Miranda. Jacob. Fucking anyone can die. Except for Chief. That has been the #1 rule. So, you cannot convince me. You cannot convince me that he's dead. No. No. Nuh-uh. Oni is like cutting him off for some reason. Something is like super secret black ops. No. I do not, I cannot believe it. Don't fuck with me. Let's continue.
Defeated the Covenant and almost single-handedly brought an end to the war.
God, that trailer.
The power to kill the Master Chief.
Yes, the poster boy for the UNSC and the Spartan program was killed in action. That's why we're celebrating.
She's a Spartan.
That's why this is a party.
Ari, we need to make a move.
This
now.
is the beginning of a...
While the crowd was stirring, Ari bit the bullet and started moving towards a side entrance as we followed. We didn't make it far, though.
And that requires expanding our ranks. That's why I'm glad to see we have even more new faces here.
Stop. She knows you're here.
Shit.
Even today, I hear we got a new shipment of fresh meat. I don't know you, soldier.
He was calling me out. My name is Pharaoh.
I know that name. You've been making a lot of noise recently, haven't you?
A little too much, perhaps.
You talk about transitioning us out of military conflict, is that right? Build up economic power?
I think it's a viable option if...
Look around. There's a reason these people are following me. There's a reason they scream from fire to blood.
Oh,
You are naive. Your dreams for tomorrow make us look weak. So what exactly can you offer our movement? Words and speeches? Negotiation? We are done with those.
Ilsa, she's got a strong logistical background. Maybe she could help us there.
Ilsa didn't speak for a moment. Her eyes were locked on me.
It
Then
sounds
she
like
relaxed and the tension finally broke.
I think you're right, Ari. We need some creative thinking on maintaining supply chains here. Pharaoh could be very useful in that capacity. That's what I'm talking about. Making pieces fit. As a leader, you have to know which pieces can be repurposed and which ones are just trash.
No!
It happened just like that. Ilsa didn't even look. She just raised her arm and fired. A single shot at point-blank range, and he crumpled to the floor.
did she just kill
Ilsa
Ari?
Zane had just blown Ari's brains
Oh
out.
no!
I'm hoping this is news to all of you here, but our good friend Ari, as it turns out, was a mole. He was working for
She
Oni.
just killed him like he was nothing. I knew he was gone, but I wanted to go to his side and try to help somehow. But I couldn't move. I couldn't think.
Oh my goodness.
Ilsa kept speaking.
He was a treacherous little traitor, and that's not a piece you can make
Everything
fit.
was spinning. I was trying to figure out my next move. I spotted Bostwick lurking at the ready in my peripheral when Ilsa pointed her gun right at me.
Now, where were we? That's right. Arya just vouched for you, which means you're probably another Oni stooge. I could question you, ask what's in your head, or we could just look.
Before I could stop her, Bostwick jumped to my defense, stepping in front of the gun and raising a knife to Ilsa Zane's throat.
She's not Oni. Pharaoh's a real leader, and you should show some respect when addressing her.
No,
I vouch
she's
for
gonna
her.
kill
Little
Bostwick.
girl, next time you pull a knife on someone, don't hesitate.
Ilsa moved with incredible speed and power, knocking Bostwick halfway across the room.
Stop! Ilsa, listen. There's an airstrike on its way.
Airstrike?
We all have to go now, or everyone will die.
How do you...
Everything froze. I could see the rage building in Ilsa as she cracked a smile, seemingly enjoying it all. I saw Bostwick look up at me out the corner of my eye. I knew I'd just broken her heart.
You Oni bitch.
I don't really know what happened next. The impact of the bomb took me off my feet. All I can remember is grabbing Bostwick, blood pouring out of her shoulder and running, cutting through the crowd, everyone going every which way. The confusion had given me a head start on Ilsa, but as I broke outside, I could hear her screaming behind us. She was coming after me.
Black box. I need a way
The
out.
hangar just ahead, they would have brought vehicles for the officers.
I got Bostwick into the hangar. She was pale and had lost a lot of blood. I tossed her on the back of an old mongoose, fired it up, and sped off. Ilsa must have had the same idea.
Maya, if you could go a bit faster, someone is firing at
I
us.
know!
I sped back across the crater, over the rocks, and up to the jagged ravine where I'd landed the prison transport.
Baby, open the bay door!
Yeah, opening
I
now.
rode the mongoose up the ramp and into the ship as Ilsa and her crew came in hot, pelting the transport with a shower of artillery.
Door, baby!
On it. Ship is prepped. We're ready to go.
Let go
As we
already!
lifted off, Ilsa was still firing at us from below. I settled Bostwick into one of the bunks and slumped down against the railing as we broke through the atmosphere.
Fuck, this is gonna be a very
I feel
different
the
season.
reality of what just happened, filling my body with every breath. Forget that my cover was blown, or that Bostwick would never forgive or trust me again. At least she was alive. But Ari was dead.
Mother.
But I had to keep going. I took a deep breath and buried Ari in my mind. I set to finding any medical supplies I could to extract the shrapnel from her shoulder. The ship was mostly empty, just a vessel to keep my cover intact. But I was able to cobble together enough supplies to tend to her wounds.
Who are you?
Save your strength. You're gonna need it. As Bostwick passed out, I made my way to the front of the ship.
Fuck.
I finally had a moment to catch my breath. I couldn't help myself as my thoughts drifted back to Ari. Then I remembered the data chip. I pulled it out of my pocket and popped it into the console.
He already knew that she
A
was more like
flood of information about the seismic events. Readings, charts, data, predictions. The NCA must have had teams working around the clock, gathering anything out of the ordinary. They were looking for a signature, something unique Ilsa could use to predict where the next disasters would hit. The answers were all in front of me, but I didn't know how to read them.
Shit.
Thankfully,
BB!
I knew someone who could.
BB knows.
Maya, we need to get your friend professional medical treatment as soon as possible. We should set course for the nearest ONI facility.
No, I've got a place. Setting course now.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Ilsa is, ex-Spartan. They tend to be a little bit salty. So to recap, the Spartan program had some rejects for the people who are here from RVB, not Halo, because, you know. And the Spartan program had rejects, either physically or mentally or various reasons. Saren Osman, the head of ONI, is one of these rejects, so it's kind of funny to see that the Rebels and ONI both have a Spartan reject at their helm. Additionally, a lot of Spartan rejects were given various jobs to do if they were physically broken that were, like, for their mind, because Spartans were basically both really strong and really smart. So some of them, you know, like Ilsa, were taken elsewhere and had other things happen, and some of them went to ONI, which is where Saren Osman comes in. And I always thought that was pretty fascinating that, you know, even the rejects were used. Oh, holy shit, that was a hell of an episode too. Not quite enough to make me scream. But, yeah. Yeah, the moment Ari was like, you should take this chip, was the moment I knew he was fucked. Like, no, he's a smart guy, apparently. That was really interesting. I wish I had more to watch visually, but it's nice that they give the little, like, visual, like, when they started talking about the crater, and then they had the picture, and they had, like, an illustration. That's always been great with Hunt the Truth. Last week's was Ben banging on the doors with bloody hands, and I'm like, oh god. Michael Key, I think his name is, who does Key and Peele, does the voice of Benjamin Giraud. He fucking nailed it. I was crying. I wish I did a reaction video for that. But yeah, this was quite a thing. Gonna see what happens next week. We're getting close to the Halo release too, so I don't know how long this season will be. or if it'll extend past it. Or are they doing a Spartan Ops type thing where they do episodes of the game? I don't know. I'm not going to be playing Halo 5 because I can't afford an Xbox One. But I will be listening to Hunt the Truth and watching people do Let's Plays and watching people do Twitch streams, so I'll still see what happens. But Halo 5 release date should be October. Okay, so we have about 4 more episodes at least. That's really fascinating though. God, I was expecting Petra this season. I was expecting like all this stuff. God. And I'm really excited to see what happens with the new Rebel girl too. Like, holy crap, that was... I don't know what she's gonna do. Like, they could take her to Oni, but unless they like indoctrinate her or something, I don't know what that's gonna do. I don't know. I like that Maya kind of did believe in what Pharaoh was saying with the economic strength and creating stability was important. Like, even if she didn't need it entirely, she still kind of believed in it and believed that it was something that would help. And I think that's really interesting too about Maya. She's really fascinating. Really, the whole thing is fascinating. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm gonna end the video. Wow, it was long. That was half an hour of video. Whew. Well, if you're still listening, have a good one.